This is Lori here,
Litany.
and we just had a nice brunch, and we're now just want to recap and share with everyone what our takeaways and our key topic that we've been thinking about is rhythm and routine. It's the beginning of 2023, and we want to talk about rhythm and routine going forward and how we're thinking about that topic in getting to where we desire to be at the end of 2023.
Yeah, and this has just been a great time over brunch, just talking about this rhythm and routine and incorporating our within that reflections and expectations, how we can look at this rhythm and routine. I kept telling you about the cadence, you know, how we ended one year and getting into this new year, and so establishing that rhythm and routine, but incorporating that reflective moment so we can have that expected end that we're looking forward to in 2023.
I like that, and I like the word cadence that you shared with me, because I looked that up, and it's also not only a rhythmic pattern at the end of a musical composition, if we look at it in music, but it's also like the rhythmic flow. And so I want to translate that into being productive and as we go forth in 2023, and like anytime at the beginning of the year, you know, we set goals, we reset, we allow it for us to reset. And so I've been resetting and reaching out to you and kind of sharing some things, and just want to highlight some takeaways that I've gotten. But before that, I want to reflect on 2022 to inform what I'm planning to do, and want to hear what you're planning to do for 2023. So let's do a little reflection. For me in 2022, I've been just searching like for the big picture. And so I reached out. You were one person who I did this past 2022, last summer, and to a few other people. And I kind of got the big picture of how to bring everything together. Because for me, it's like I have this, and I have this. And how do I put this all together? Because I want to accomplish those goals, but it just seems like it's so overwhelming. So for me in 2022, it was just getting the big picture. And I feel like I have the big picture. So,
well, I'm glad you have that big picture. And one of the things we talked about was not being segregated or separated, but being more integrated. And so in 2022, it was me learning how to integrate life. And so, hence, this is why I had in 2022 Dollar Tree got my 3-subject notebook. It was able to even to bring things together from my personal life, my business life, and for those who may know or may not, just things in ministry, even bringing it all together, because I'm one person, you're one person, and we can't like separate or compartmentalize all the time, because we forget like everything matters, like we're a whole person. And so in 2022, it was me being more focused and writing things down so I can reach those goals, and not just saying, I want to do this, but not look at, okay, what have I done? What have I put in place? So when I'm thinking about that, what worked for me well was writing down and reflecting every month and then like quarter by quarter, and kind of like looking at it and say, okay, did I reach that goal? Have I done this? So that's helped me.
I like that. So the takeaway that I'm going to take from you is just write it down. And I've written things down, but I like the piece about reflecting on the goal. So having these little checks that we give ourselves, set a goal, check in with ourselves, and then it's like, did I accomplish that during this quarter or this particular season of the year? So I like that. And so that's a good reflection moment and a takeaway that we can take going into 2023 is write it down and check in with ourselves.
Yeah. And looking back, I literally, I think March or June, I can't remember, but I just set aside and said, okay, what am I really doing? And trying to like, you know, categorize goals, not compartmentalizing, but more categorizing. So financial goals, health goals, spiritual goals, personal goals. Like, and then I would realize, okay, all these are working together for my personal benefit. But just kind of seeing, okay, what small things I need to do to get to that, and what can I do consistently getting us to the rhythm and the routine to get me to where I need to go.
I love that. I want to piggyback on something you said, compartmentalize, because that's something that someone shared with me Summer when I was reaching out to them is like, don't compartmentalize. Because like you said, everything, we're one person and we have this aspect of ourselves and this aspect of ourselves, but those three need to work together. And even like with the planner, I think I like that we can have aspects of each of ourselves, even in our time and our schedule, but we need to figure out, I feel, how to operate as one, because we are one person.
And I can say that when thinking about that rhythm and routine, you think about, I mean, your music, I know music, and so think about a band. You have many instruments, you have many sounds, and that goes back to that cadence. You have a lot of things happening. So you have things happening in your home, you have things happening in your professional life, you have things happening in your finances. So you have all of these different sounds, but how can you bring a cohesiveness to make sure that the rhythm stays true to who you are, and that you can develop that routine by putting in the work and putting in the practice. So at the end, if you want it to sound like Mozart or Beethoven,
that beautiful cadence.
I've been working on this like all year. I've been working on it, but because I've been intentional about what I've included and what I've decided to leave out. So it's
I like that. I like the how we have a band and there's different parts of the band, but they work together to produce something beautiful, one sound. So I like mapping that on to just our individual, to who we are, because there's different aspects of ourselves, but we have to get into a rhythmic routine, because we have these obligations, we have these roles, but how do they work together?
Yeah, and one thing I would say is that expectations, kind of like somebody say you can see that big picture. Like now that you have that big picture, it's kind of like working backwards. Like, okay, what habits, what routines do I need to build into me getting to where I desire to be, versus saying I got this big picture and
now what?
Yeah, time's gonna go bad. I'm gonna be like this, man. I'll be the superstar by the end of 2023. But like, what work are you gonna do to get to that ultimate goal of not even like not stardom, not fame, but just being? And we talked about that too. Just being who you are.
And I think that's a good thing to talk about in terms of expectations. So we've reflected on 2023, but the expectations, and one of the takeaways that you mentioned was something that you heard. You want to just share about that? But being.
Pastor Sarah Jakes from the Potter's House, she talked about some people, you're going to come to 2023, you're going to be like trying to start in beast mode, like I'm going to get it done, but you need to maybe start in B mode, and understanding who you are and just being who God created you to be. So you're able to, by the time it is time to show up, you're showing up as your authentic self, you're showing up in a position to get the work done, because you kind of like practice so much of who you are. You don't have to keep practicing who you are, because you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Flow in it. So
and that speaks to the theme that I shared with you.
Yeah.
And I'll share with everyone else, is just be in 2023.
Just be in 2023.
Just be in 2023.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. So just wrapping up, reflect on what we've done, get that big picture in mind, get into a rhythm and a routine, and embrace all of your roles and responsibilities, and get into some sort of groove, if you will, so you can create that beautiful cadence throughout 2023.
I just feel like doing it.
That's good. On that note, stay blessed, stay real, just be in 2023.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.